Hello guys, welcome to my video. This is going to be a watercolour painting tutorial. I hope you enjoy. So I decided here to do like a still life, and I first start by putting down this blue shade onto a wet background, and I make sure to leave the white areas where I want to then add more paint onto there later. I am using a Rowney round brush here just to put the paint down, as it's a large brush and it means I can do this faster. And I'm adding in a slightly darker colour here just to add a little bit of depth. Here I've just used a brush just to take away some areas to add some little pops of light. I think that's a really pretty effect. And then here I'm starting to add water to the bottom part to make it wet so I can add paint onto there as well. It's important that the paper is wet so you can get that blurred effect from the paint. So here I'm going in with this warm brown shade and just working around those shapes there, leaving the white again. You can see it just creates this really soft effect, which is what I wanted. And this angled brush is really effective as it allows you to get into those smaller areas, but it's still large enough that you can lay down a large wash of paint. I'm just adding a little bit of depth and putting in some shadows, which is important with still lifes to really make them look more realistic. So just finishing off the wash on the bottom. And just smoothing it out here just to make sure it's how I want it, and just finishing off those final bits. And then I'm just going to take my spray bottle and just wetten the top slightly, because I wanted to take away a little bit more paint from those shapes on the top here. As you can see, I just use a dry brush and it just picks up the paint. I just wanted them to look a little bit more fluffy as they're going to be flowers. Here I just cut, I added a few like speckles. It creates a really nice effect, I think, doing this. And then I filled in the coffee mug here, as you can see, just a bit of shading just to bring it to life. And I just used a very light wash here to do that. I didn't want it to be harsh at all. I believe here I'm going in with the details on the flowers, so I used a similar colour to what I used on the bottom of the painting, that warm brown tone. Just to bring those flowers to life. made a little bit of a smudge there earlier, but I was able to remove it as the paint was wet. And then here I'm adding in the pine cone at the bottom, and I really like the way this turned out. Just leaving the white areas to bring out those shapes worked really well, I thought. And adding a bit of darker paint just to add some shadow to it. And then adding its shadow down here with that same colour. I'm adding further shadows to the mug. And here I added some white paint onto the top of the painting to create some white flowers. I thought they looked really pretty. And here I'm working on the shapes again at the bottom. These are going to be oranges. Just wiping away a little bit of water there. Had too much water. Yeah, and here I start to just fill in the shape. So using that nice bright orange. I thought these really brought the painting together. I think they looked really nice, those bright pops of orange. Adding some definition to make the shape more defined. Yep, so here I just start adding more details to the orange. Adding a little bit more orange here, and then in a second I go in with some white paint on a small brush just to add more definition to the orange, as I feel I lost a little bit of that. I think sometimes I have the habit of overworking slightly, but with obviously the white here, I can just go in and add details back in if I feel I have overworked it. Okay, and so here I'm going in with my Pro Art brush, which is the very long sword shaped brush, and that's perfect for stems. Yep, so here I'm just going in with a brown shade and just defining those stems. Just adding stems to those little white flowers, just to connect those. I'm just adding some random marks, just to tie them in a little bit to the rest of the painting. As we're coming to the end here, just adding, a few little details here and there. And here we go to peel off the masking tape, which is my favourite part. Yeah. Those nice clean edges are always really satisfying. Okay, so yeah, I really hope you guys like this video. It was a really enjoyable painting for me. I love the colour palette. And here you go, here's the final look. So I hope you give me a like, subscribe, and also leave a comment. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.